Welcome back to Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I'm here today with our new IFBB Figure Pro, all the way from Miami Beach, Florida, Capucine Leconte. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Did I do a good job on your name?
No.
No.
Not at all.
You do it. Do it for me so I know the real pronunciation.
Capucine.
Oh, Capucine, right. Capucine Leconte. It's
Yes.
very exotic. Where is it? Where does that name come from? What ethnicity?
I'm a Haitian and Spaniard. It's a flower.
Wow. No one wants to. No one better piss you off. And on that note, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But let's talk about the victory, because you won the Class A division, which is the short class in figure, in a very, very competitive show at the NPC Nationals.
Yes.
The story really is you hadn't competed for 10 years. You made a comeback with only 6 weeks to go. Tell us, number one, how this whole show thing came about, because it was kind of like almost like a joke, a phone call from King Kamali. Tell us how that whole thing went down.
Like I said, I was in Italy on a trip with a friend, and he had been training with King Kamali, and King Kamali asked him if he knew anyone that was able to compete, because I think he was wanting to show that he was one of the best trainers to another competitor who he was having some thing with. So my friend said, I got a perfect girl for you, and her name is Capucine. Why don't you give her a call? I had met King probably about a month before then, but it was very brief. And when he told me that he'd be able to take care of me and get me involved in competing and probably get my pro card, I was ecstatic, and I said, why not? And I finished my bottle of Prosecco and took a plane and started training 2 days later.
So you're in Italy, chilling out, having alcohol, eating pretty much whatever you want. King Kamali says, hey, I want you to do this show, the New York Grand Prix, in 6 weeks. And you say, sure. You fly back and you start preparing for this. Now, I have to believe that you probably were not too far out of shape at this point. Is that correct?
I didn't have my abs and I wasn't tight. I mean, I kind of keep in shape throughout all my life, but I definitely made a complete 360.
Wow.
I wasn't really in the gym the way I used to be. I kind of just came to the gym maybe, 2-3 times a week. But I live in South Beach, so I was doing a lot of partying and, my work, and just kind of laid back. So
Right.
it did take me a lot of effort to get where I had to go.
King Kamali told me, he texted me, he goes, because I interviewed the overall winner who had done 4 shows and turned pro, and he's like, I have this girl I worked with, 2 shows she turned pro. Now, that's true for now, but you've been competing for 17, you've been working out for 17 years. You competed back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s. And what happened then that made you decide to take almost 10 years off?
After joining the Bombshell team, and after being coached by Sergio Pacheco and putting all my efforts in, I got with someone that asked me to go to Massachusetts to a natural show, and enter the bikini division, because I had kind of lost all the muscle I had to do figure. So when I got on stage, I was told that I was going to have first place. So I get on stage and the entire crowd is booing and they're yelling, you're robbing her, this is politics. And I'm completely confused. So I take a look at the trophy and I'm like, 3rd place? So I smile, I get off stage, and everyone's like, what happened? And the judges were like, you just came in too defined in the stomach. So after that, I was just like, well.
Why didn't you stick with figure? We're looking at your pictures. You have the perfect figure physique. You got the crazy V taper, the cap delts, you got the ripped abs. Everything that you want to see in a figure competitor.
Well, I wasn't born like that. I used to be extremely overweight. So when I don't train the way I need to train to be in figure, I don't have the shoulders and everything that I'm supposed to have. And my coach at the time insisted that I do bikini. So I just listened to him.
We hear a little feedback on your audio. I don't know if someone's touching your phone or whatever. Or maybe there's a window open blowing in. I don't know. So I just wanted to if you can watch out for that. I have a question though. people train for years to get their IFBB Pro card. Okay, 6 weeks you compete at the New York Grand Prix, right? Was that the show you did?
Yes.
Okay, you win that, the overall there, and obviously the judges there tell you, hey, you got to go to nationals in 2 weeks because you look great. What did you think when they told you that? Did you realize how good you were at that point?
Of course. Right away, I thought to myself, this is it. This has to be it. I mean, the fact that a legend like King Kamali was training me in the first place, and everything just went. I mean, I always got second or third place in all my other shows. For me to have won the overall, I was almost tearing on stage, and I felt like it was a sign. Yeah. And not only that, it was right next to my house in South Beach, so I said, I'm already looking good. Why not jump into it? Right. I had nothing to lose.
Right. Now, what did you feel that King Kamali brought to the equation that maybe was missing with previous coaches or in the past? What made you feel like this was such a successful contest prep in such a short period of time?
King Kamali brought back the confidence that I never actually had. I thought I had the confidence, but I felt sure with him. Mm-hmm. There was something about the way he spoke to me, the way he trained me, and the belief in his voice and his eyes that it ricocheted off him to me. So
gotcha. All right. Well,
with him there, I felt more than powerful and capable of doing it, and all the judges were telling me the same thing. So all right. I did it.
Well, it's important to feel empowered and inspired by the people who help you out. That's important for sure. Now, you have a great story because you get to nationals. Now, obviously, you're not going to stay in the hotel at the nationals because you live in South Beach. So, which is a disaster to begin with, because I know the traffic there is atrocious. So if you leave too late, you might miss your show. But you had something crazy happen to you. Tell us the story of how it went down.
So I'm heading to downtown Miami, where at the Hyatt, where the show's taking place, and we're supposed to have an athletes meeting to receive our cards and direction, whatever may have you. And I forget something from my hair, and I run back to my place. Now I'm in my suit with my tanning, ready to get on stage, ready to get to the show. I open the door, I go into my bedroom, which was weirdly and oddly shut, and I see my fiance of 4 years in bed, naked, with a big Oompa Loompa woman in the bed. So you can imagine what happened to me. I'm sitting there looking at them thinking, should I get a knife and cut it off and just smack him with it? Or should I just slap him and slap her at the same time? So that's exactly what I did. I slap him awake, I drag her by the hair, and I'm like, you even speak and you're going to eat the concrete. And so I drag her out and I'm rumbling with him. I tell them, you both get out of my house. My dog ends up running outside. And I'm like, I'm going to go get my dog and I'm going to go win this show. And it's exactly what I did.
All right. So first of all, did you break a nail or anything like that?
Yes, I actually did. I broke one nail. When I threw the glass at him, I got half my tanning off my back, and my back is one of my most
best body parts,
defined parts of my body. So I had to make sure that I could find someone that can repaint me and everything. The nail, forget it, was gone. Yeah. So I just hid that, and I think the most difficult part was when I arrived there, everybody was already on stage posing.
Oh my
gosh! I
gosh.
wasn't even there, and the woman, I guess, that directs all the athletes on stage said, we should disqualify you, but you look awesome, and we're going to let you get on stage anyways. So if you take a close look at the pictures, I have this face like a terror, like I'm pissed off, but no one understands why. But for me, it was more like, I hope the judges are still going to look at me because I'm totally late. So I think that my posing ended up being a little bit off because of the emotions that were on stage.
That's a crazy story. Now, how long did it take you to get from South Beach, which is not that far, to the actual venue and park and get in there?
About 15 to 20 minutes it took me to get on there. And as a matter of fact, oddly enough, when everything happened, I didn't even know I won. I got off stage and I was pissed off, and they're like, you won. I'm like, what do you mean I won? I won what? And they're like, you won. You got your pro card. I'm like, where is it? Because I thought that the pro card was given to you right there and then. And the trophy was given to you right there and then. Yeah. So I still had no idea I even had won anything.
That's crazy. So you catch your husband, or your fiance, I should say, cheating on you. You kick. I'm assuming you're not with him anymore?
Oh, no, he's gone. I've already replaced him.
Now, we said you got the Spanish and you got the island in you. You know, that you guys don't take any crap. I know that.
No. He's lucky I'm not South American. It probably would have been worse, but, you know. Woosah.
When something like that happens to you, and look, we're laughing about it now, but I'm sure it hurt you inside when you saw that. How do you keep the game face on and do what you came to do? Because a lot of people would be completely blown away, and they might have just not done the show.
You know what? The whole process. This guy that I was with, I was financially supporting him for a long time. So it was already something that was a question in my mind of what I should be doing. And I wasn't looking good when I was with him. Yeah. The support team I had, I saw an image of myself that I had never physically seen. I only saw it in my mind. So the transformation from before and after in the 6 weeks, that's what gave me the motivation. Everyone was counting on me, and I was counting on myself. So I couldn't let him get in the way of that. He had already gotten in the way of my dream for 4 years. So I was like, this is not going to happen. Everything is going so well. And I remember looking at all the Flex magazines, always seeing King Kamali in the back. And now he was my coach, you know. And then I had another friend of mine who introduced me to him that was supporting me as well. So I'm like, I'm not supposed to not get this. This is for me.
Yeah.
So
what a great ending to a terrible story.
Sorry?
I said, what a great ending to a terrible story, because you went there, you got to the prejudge, you got up on that stage, you were first call out in the middle. I remember I was there watching, and you won. And so, I mean, it worked out the way I guess it was supposed to. Plus, you got rid of a freeloader, so that's even better.
Yeah. I'm happy at the end of the day. I was only worried that he'd still be there when I got back. That was the only issue I had. After that, I celebrated, and now I'm getting ready to do the New York Pro and the Olympia.
Yeah, I think you scared the crap out of him. That's why you got out of there. Now, if I can only get you to find the woman who shoplifted my laptop from Whole Foods, then I would be a super fan of yours. If you can find that, I'll send you a picture of her. I got her on the security cameras.
That's okay.
Anyway, so let's talk about what's going to take place in the future now. So you mentioned the New York Pro to me to do your debut at, which will be in May of 2018. What's the plan at this point? What do you think you need to work on? What do you and Kamali got cooking up in the kitchen, so to speak?
I mean, I think we're pretty well endowed from the waist up. I just got to work on the fullness and striations in my legs, which has always been kind of a weak part. But with his training and his guidance, I'm already starting to see some development. So I'm going to be perfecting that. All
right. Well, look, you got a great story. I love to hear the triumph over adversity. You did it, and you did it in the same day as the show. Some people complain about, oh, the last month I lost a relative, or I got sick. You really sucked it up and got out there and gave your best effort on the day of the show, and I commend you for that. And congratulations on winning your IFBB Pro card.
Thank you so much.
All right, and that'll take us to the end of another episode of Live With, brought to you by Species Nutrition. Visit speciesnutrition.com. I'm Dave Palumbo, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao.